All right, welcome to round 4 here with Thalia Stompy. We are 3-0-6-0 right now, feeling pretty good. This hand has a turn 1 thick Thalia, which is why we're going to keep it. I think we're going to bend the Sunbaked Canyon and play, or I guess we just bend the Spirit Guide. Well, we could just play turn 1 Arbiter, turn 2 Thalia, but I think playing turn 1 thick Thalia is going to be really good. So I think I'm going to bend this, or pitch the Sunbaked Canyon. Yeah, so Arbiter is not very good in this matchup. This is, oh wow, that was a pretty bad draw. Probably worst draw, but we're going to go ahead and cast Thalia. And I'm not feeling that good because we want Chalice against them, not really Big Thalia, more just Chalice. And Big Thalia, they don't play that many non-basics, so it's already like not great. And they're going to double gut shot Thalia here, it looks like. No, they're just making her smaller. I think I am going to block because I'm going to play a new one next turn. Alternatively, we could not block and attack for 2 and then play a new one. Opponent is tanking and then deciding to get shot again, and they don't have a second land. So it's tempting to Arbiter Dismember here. That way they can't, it's harder for them to kill Thalia. I think we are going to do that. Should have probably dismembered pre-casting the Arbiter. That way they can't just like shrink it in response. Although it's unlikely they'd want to do that. They hit their second land drop. And they're getting in there. Don't really want to block. Jeez. Alright. We're at 9. They have 1 card in hand. Here's Big Thalia. Hopefully this holds the floor for a sec while we draw some Eldrazi. Yeah, we're dead. We needed them to not have a Lava Dart or a Lightning Bolt there, and they had everything. Wow, they had both. So we're super dead. Damn. Alright. Got kind of crushed. That was not particularly close. Against them, we really need Chalice in our opener, and we had turn 1 Big Thalia. So this is the issue with this deck, is that you can do really powerful things on turn 1 or just early turns of the game, but sometimes those powerful things don't line up well with what your opponent's doing. So our opponent was on mono red Prowess, where Chalice is king, and we had turn 1 3/2 first strike that was pretty weak against all their 1 damage removal spells that they just stacked onto her and killed her twice. So that was kind of difficult. I think Worship's probably pretty good. Rest in Peace has got to be at least decent. Arbiter's really bad. And we're going to cut a Gemstone Caverns on the play. So it becomes a little harder from here. I think we want all the removal. I think we can trim like a couple smashers, because we don't want to draw too many smashers. I mean, they're good at closing the game out, but they're 5 mana, and we have a lot. We're upping our curve here with putting these worships in. Smasher is a good way to close the game, but I think our other creatures do good enough at attacking that we should be alright with just 2. And I want both Wear Tears because they bring in Blood Moon and Shrine of Burning Rage. So this hand has a Chalice, but we can't cast it, and has triple Thalia, so we're going to mulligan. This hand has a turn 2 Chalice, so we're just going to keep it. It's not a great hand, but it has a Thalia and a Chalice. We're going to lead with Chalice and then play Thalia. Apologize for the helicopter going by my house here. I think we're going to bin the Thought-Knots here. Maybe not. Maybe it's Thalia THC. Definitely keeping this hand, though. Let's think about this. So if we draw a Temple, Thought-Knots here is really good. If we draw any land, we can cast Thalia Heretic Athar on turn 4. Or 3 if we want. But as we saw, she's like not awesome, and we do have another one of those of her in the deck that we can't cast if this one's in play. So I think that's going to be the tiebreaker. She's like good on the play, but only if you get her down early, and she's not coming down until turn 4 with this hand. So let's do this, and we'll lead with Gemstone Caverns. Our opponent mulliganed as well, it looks like. Opponent mulliganed to 6 and kept 6. Okay. I guess we should leave the Sunbaked in case we draw an Eldrazi Temple next turn, and maybe we want to cast Displacer instead of Chalice. It's impossible, though. Yeah, we should have led with Gemstone Cavern so we don't take damage from this Canyon next turn. Yeah. Punished. Whoops. That was pretty bad. That was a pretty big punt, leading with Sunbaked Canyon there. Because that extra damage could be really, really relevant. They are basically a burn deck. They're on 1 land, though. And this Thalia is going to be pretty good when they're on 1 land. They can gut shot. Oh, they drew a 2nd land. They can't abrade with the Thalia in play. Alright, now we can TKS. See what's going on over there. Good shot, good shot. Arclight, Faithless Looting, Abrade. So we just take the Abrade. They can't cast anything. I mean, they can try and cast Gut Shot, but it doesn't do a whole lot. And the Abrade's the only way they have to interact with the Chalice. They also need a 3rd land, which they drew. They got pretty lucky there and drew the 3rd land. Which means they can now pump Swift Spear to 4 power, making it big enough to kill the Thought-Knots here, if they want to just punt these gut shots into nothing. But not if they pass turn or pass priority, so yeah, they're not attacking. Worship we can't cast, but we can cast Displacer here. And we're just going to bash with both. Since they can't cast anything right now, we want to put the pressure on. And Displacer should lock them out. I mean, they obviously can cast Phoenix if they draw land. And if they draw an Abrade, they could kill the Chalice and maybe start doing things. But yeah. Alright. So we're bringing back in the Caverns on the draw. And as you saw there, Chalice is the key to victory in this matchup. So yeah, they are bringing in Abrades, but we can just kind of get them. It's worth noting that wear tear number 2 might not be necessary because it's a pretty bad draw if they don't draw Blood Moon or Shrine of Burning Rage. We just saw their hand. I mean, they're on a mold of 6 and they just had the Abrade. They might not have brought in Blood Moon or Shrine of Burning Rage. I think those cards are good against me, so I think they should, but it's possible that they're just not on that plan and they're expecting like wear tear or something, so they're just on like more of a beat you down and abrade your chalice type of thing, in which case we should probably trim a wear tear. Hazoret's also not terrible here. It does block all their things really well. I didn't really think about Hazoret just blocking, although I don't know if it's worth it. Reality Smasher is a little bit easier to cast. Even though it costs 1 more, it often costs less than Hazoret or the same, and has no red requirement. It's kind of interesting. I think I'm just going to trim a wear tear and leave it like this and just hope that we don't get mooned. We also don't just lose to moon, like we have wastes and planes, and we have a turn 1 chalice here, so we're definitely keeping this hand. And they kept a 6 that probably has an Abrade because they can't really keep a hand without Abrade. I want to draw Thought Knots here and Eldrazi Temple for the next couple of draw steps. That'd be pretty cool. Gemstone Caverns as the top card is pretty bad. It's awkward. But turn 1 Chalice, I can't be too upset here. We can also turn 2 Displacer if we want, which is pretty good. And we probably will. Winds. Winds is cool. We have 4 lands, 5 technically, but I think we're playing Displacer here. And I think we're just going to name Eldrazi with Cavern, since we can cast all our other spells off the Sunbaked. Just to save a life here. Not the most powerful turn 2 play of the 3/3, exiling a card out of our hand, but when they're fairly locked out with the Chalice, we're in like pretty good position. If they don't find an Abrade. And it doesn't look like they have. We're not going to block there. That just doesn't make sense. And they are going to cast a 1-drop just to do 1 more damage. No, they're going to wait for a Abrade. So would we want to crack Sunbaked Canyon? No, I think we just hold up Blink here and just keep bashing. Because this way we can cast Thought Knot if we draw it. They could have a Phoenix, they don't, it looks like. So now we have 6 lands. We can overload Winds of Abandon. I think that's going to be pretty powerful at some point. So we're just going to beat down for 3 every turn for a bit. Lightning Bolt into the Chalice. Probably trying to cast Bedlam Reveler. Lava Dart into the Chalice. And now they can Reveler. Yeah. Drawing 3 cards. Pretty good. Kind of want to just take one and then blink the Reveler and make them draw 3 more cards, but that's kind of not good, right? Rest in peace. Rest in peace is a little late, but I guess we'll play it here. We're going to name Ape with this one. Cast Rest in Peace. Have this blink up. Pass the turn. This way they can't cast future Bedlam Revelers very easily. And we will take a hit here from Bedlam Reveler. But then we have Winds of Abandon Overload, so I hope they cast another Reveler, actually. Light up the stage, sure. What did they get? Faithless Looting Lightning Bolt. Alright, still no Abrade. I mean, they may have the Abrade. I'm going to cast Bolt into the... So we're going to take 5. That's okay. Potentially more if they want to go deeper. And then we get to just Winds of Abandon. Oops. You get 2 lands, which is pretty good for them. I mean, it filters out their deck a little bit, but they only have 3 cards in hand, and most of their deck is uncastable into the Chalice of the Void, and Rest in Peace stops a lot of their shenanigans. Although they already have 7 lands, so they can just like hard cast Bedlam Reveler now. And now they're on a 2-turn clock. And they scoop it up. All right. Well, pretty happy with that win. Chalice of the Void on 1 is pretty good against mono red prowess, it turns out.